Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Lisum coming to you with my amazing guest co-host, Sara Hart, and we're evolving women. I'm evolving. You're evolving. We're all evolving. So let's help each other to evolve. Our mission is to infuse the world with uplifting messages, new perspectives, empowering tools, fresh insights, and resources. Maybe plant some new seeds for you. We offer wellness ideas, mindset shifts, maybe some self-belief strategies, and we're here to be a source of inspiration for you. So consider this your permission to be your best self. And welcome. We're so glad you're here. So here we are on Evolving Women with my amazing guest co-host, Sara Hart. Welcome, Sara. Thank you so much for being here and spending some time with us.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. It's a joy to be here with you. Thank you.
Well, we are full of joy to have you here. Now, we're going to just jump right in because I know your mission, your message is all around the power of older women. And older women can be defined as women over 50. I guess it depends on the person who's defining it. But sometimes in our society, older women tend to either be overlooked, diminished, think they're past their prime, and might not be as useful and as a contributor to society as they might be in other cultures. So I would love for you to just step right in and walk us through some of your thoughts around that, please.
Yeah, Teresa, thank you. Yeah, it's unfortunate, because I talk to women in their 40s who are still in organizations, and they already are feeling ageism, and that's in their 40s. So I have I just say women over 50 because for me, I made a huge career change at age 50. And I think that for a lot of women, when they say I'm having a big birthday, they oftentimes mean 50. I mean, everything can be a big birthday for a woman, but oftentimes it's 50. And for a long time, I had over 55. And then I don't know how many women said to me, Sara, I think it's really over 50. So I said, okay, over 50. I thought for me, there was a difference between being 50 and 55, but maybe it was just me. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any question about whether or not older women are overlooked and undervalued. I mean, I think that's a given. And all you have to do is talk to a bunch of older women, and they will say, yeah, they feel disregarded, they feel sometimes ignored, oftentimes just invisible in the situation they're in. And from my perspective, that is so sad, not only for the individual woman, but what I think is that older women have deep wisdom from years of experience that the world desperately needs right now.
Yes.
And so to set everybody aside is just unfortunate. It's a waste. I mean, it's sad for the women. So what we need to do is not put up with it.
Yeah. And that's a big key right there, what you just said. Don't put up with it. Don't accept it as the norm. Don't be okay with it.
And become aware of your own internal ageism, because sometimes we're our worst enemies. Oh, I'm too old for that. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do that at this point in
Oh my
life.
gosh.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that? That was a senior moment. So we need to pay attention to what we're carrying in terms of our own feelings about getting older, because there's a bunch of research now that shows how we feel about getting older has a huge impact on major health concerns like cancer and Alzheimer's, but it also affects our longevity. It can affect our longevity by as much as 7.5 years. So, this is a big deal. And
it is a big deal.
We need to not only look outside ourselves for all the ways that we're being minimized, but look inside ourselves for the
Mhm.
way that we're minimizing ourselves, because we can't take that big step out if we're feeling, oh, I don't know, I think I'm too old for that. I
Oh
can't.
my gosh. Yes, I hear that from both men and women when they, even people in their 40s, like,
Yep.
what are you talking about? That's just still a baby as far as I'm concerned, from
Absolutely.
my perspective.
And
But
Teresa,
it's sad that we do have these, I'm just going to say cultural media, where we're getting these messages constantly that, like you said, they affect our internal view of age, even for ourselves at whatever age, 40, 45, 50, whatever it is. And it's so it limits us. And I love that you spoke about our internal ageism, because if we stop to think, well, why did I say that? Or why can't I do that? Or I can try, like I might not be as energetic as a 20-year-old at this particular activity, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. But to just totally close yourself down based on a number,
right.
it almost sounds ludicrous and silly.
Yeah, I mean, when you really say it like that, it just sounds stupid. I mean,
It does.
you
It
know,
does.
you can't do it because you're 60, just because you're
Yeah.
60.
Yeah. That number. Yeah. Like that number is dictating your life and what you do in your
Right,
life. And
right.
your physical mobility is determined by a number. Now, come on.
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to, I've talked to a bunch of older women at this point, and sort of across the board, they will say, yeah, there's some physical changes. I can't
Yeah.
do what I used
Yes,
to do. I
yes.
have some pains and aches.
Hmm.
But in terms of everything else and how I feel, and I mean, I feel more me than I've ever felt. Feel like I don't care so much about what other.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important and fun to look at not just the things we've quote lost, but look at what we've gained. You
Oh,
know, who
yes.
are we now as compared with when we were 30? I mean, I wouldn't want to go back to being 30.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
just, no way, man, no way.
Hmm.
I just wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to be any younger than I am, and I'm pretty old.
I totally agree with you there. I mean, every phase of life has its responsibilities, its burdens, its stressors. But yeah, at that point in my life, I had little ones, like working. It was just like a lot, and I wasn't able to think beyond that. The immediate putting out the fires right then and there. Whereas now, at our age, oh yeah, we don't have that responsibility. It's a lighter load. It's less stressful. Like I said, it's happier. We can give those grandkids back, enjoy them. I love my grandkids, but I can give them back, which you can't do as a young parent. But yeah, it's a really happy time. And you're right, I wouldn't want to go back neither. Mm-mm.
You hear people talk about that, and number one, I think that we remember it as being a more wonderful time than it was at the time. I mean, there were some really hard things about being 20 and 30 and 40. I mean, it wasn't all roses.
Mhm.
And it's not now either.
Right.
So just make sure that we're dealing with reality. What was it really like? And what is it really like now? And how are my attitudes and opinions influencing what I'm seeing and how I'm feeling and what I'm doing?
And I love when you spoke about how you approach this phase of life with a positive intention and mindset,
Yeah.
or like you said, coming in grudgingly, oh my God, I'm turning 60 next month, blah, 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 and think of all these negative scenarios. And we have to learn to let that go. And it's an exciting what do we get to do? Like you said, what have we gained? What's possibilities are there for us?
Right. And I think, Teresa, that it's hard to remember this sometimes, but I do think it's important that we are in a very small percentage of the world's women who worry about being older. I mean, so many women in the world don't have the luxury of getting older.
That's very true too. Yeah.
And so it's a gift. I mean, especially for those of us, and it certainly isn't everybody, but for those of us who have enough resources not to worry about some of the major just staying alive sorts of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It is a gift to get older. Let's say, I don't know, a couple hundred years ago, you said in different parts of the world, which is right at this moment in time, but even in our own country, what was the lifespan? I mean, we were like definitely the elders if we were alive back then, because like you said, they didn't all make it that far for different reasons.
No, I mean,
So,
at the turn into the 20th century, we gained 30 years of longevity. So we have an
wow.
entirely additional adult lifetime. Now, what I think, and I'm not certainly not the first or only person to talk about this, but what I think that we need to also pay attention to is our health span, not just
Yes.
our lifespan.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to live 20 more years, you know, really unhappy and sick and in bed and a burden on myself and everybody else. So I think it's important to look also at health span. And we need to start looking at that when we're young because it's
Yeah.
accumulative. You know,
Exactly.
how our health will be when we're 60, 70, 80 depends to a great extent on what we did when we were 30 and 40.
Oh my gosh,
Goodness, I
yes.
don't even want to think about that.
Yeah. But when you're young, like you said, you don't think about it. It seems so far off in the distance. But even just little decisions that a young person would make, like you said, are accumulative. They can change the trajectory of your health span as you do get older. Did I ever believe I'd be at this age in life as fast as it came? No. I mean, it did go really, really fast.
Yeah, it did.
So, and yeah,
And it continues to.
and yeah, it does. But yeah, just those little decisions, as the way you eat, the way you move your body, the way you think, as we already mentioned. Yeah, are they going to add to that health span as you get older, or is it going to detract from that?
I think that one of the reasons, I don't know if it's a major one, but one of the reasons why it's important for those of us who are involved in looking at ageism, particularly for women. I think one of the reasons why it's important to have younger people involved too is this, so that we can talk about the importance of what you're doing to your body now
Yeah.
and the impact it will have. I mean, I think there are other benefits from having intergenerational groups,
Oh, yes.
but that's one of them, I think.
For sure. Yeah, those lifestyle health concerns that come up as people age are because of those decisions they made early on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say you can't stop things and then make it a bit better. I mean, you can stop doing anything that's harmful to you, and it will immediately start to make some kind of a difference.
Yes,
But it will
yes.
be more impactful if you start doing better things when you're younger.
Right,
Building
right.
your body, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, let's say it's never too late to make a change, irregardless of that number that you happen to be at.
Yes.
So, if you decide as of right now to make a change, if you're over 60 or 70 or 50 or whatever, you can certainly do that, and it's going to help as the time progresses. So
We all know those stories about you know, and these are, I don't think this helps because they're sort of one off, but they're still fun to read about. The 80-year-old woman who for the first time started doing marathons.
I love
Now,
that.
now I don't want to start doing marathons, but good for her.
Hmm.
I might want to start doing something else, but I don't want to start doing marathons.
Yeah. No, I love those stories as well. Yeah, they're very inspirational. And I'm all about breaking those age stereotypes. So that particular example, yes, that woman broke an age stereotype so that younger generation can see like, oh, yeah, I guess you can do that stuff. And I know from my generation, we had this stereotype of age and what a certain age looked like. And now that I'm there, I'm like, hell no, I don't want to be, I want to be that way, you know? Like, yeah, no, that why did I project that onto people? I mean, I know based on who I saw around me as they aged and as I was growing up. So that kind of put that stereotype in my head. But yeah, no, I made the choice that I wasn't going to fit into that stereotype. I
Yeah,
was going to break it.
I think we didn't have, I mean, I hope that we are making better role models for younger
Yes.
people
Yeah. Yeah.
than we saw. But when I think about my parents lived through the Depression, they lived
Yes.
through
Yeah.
the Second World War. I mean, it was hard. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was hard. And so it's on the one hand, yes, I didn't have a wonderful model of aging, although both my parents, my father lived to be in his late 80s, my mother lived to be 97. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, but um, but they were old. And those were the role models we had. And I hope that there are enough of us who are saying, no, 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 no. That's unless some, I mean, everybody can have a risk factor of some kind that causes a really severe um, disease or injury or
Mm-hmm.
something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and hugely impact the quality of their life. But other than that, I think you decide just what you had said before, Teresa. I think you decide this is the way I'm going to live. I mean, this is who I
Mm-hmm.
am. This is who I'm going to be. So body, mind, and spirit, just get with me on it because this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is a decision, a conscious decision, and maybe it is a subconscious decision. Like you don't want to turn out like this particular relative. I mean, that's kind of what had my husband take the direction he did with his fitness and his wellness because his dad died at a really young age and my husband didn't want to repeat that. So his life took a trajectory in opposition of what happened to his dad.
Yeah,
And now he's a role model for our grandkids.
right.
Mhm.
And I think what we can hope is that we can make major changes like that without ourselves having to have a major health crisis.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for
I think
sure.
that that's a real goal for a lot of us.
Hmm. Yeah, this is, and I've so enjoyed this conversation. Um, really want to grasp onto that nugget of getting older as a gift that we can in turn gift something out to the world at this age as an older woman. I so love that. I'm gonna embrace that for myself. um, and I'm gonna invite you to continue the conversation in another episode if you so choose. But I would love to talk more about your idea of your spark and how you came up with that concept. If you're okay with that, we could wrap this up and then people can join us in the second episode.
Whatever you would prefer, Teresa, is okay with me. I would love to talk about how Prime Spark came about.
Okay, so what can we offer our listeners and viewers as a call to action? You have any thoughts on that
Well,
based on what we talked about today?
yeah, I mean, I have a website, Prime Spark Women midlife.com, and it is chock full of stuff. And
Mm.
I invite you to, log in and look around, because I think you'll find something that is of interest to you. So primesparkwomen.com.
Oh, no doubt in my mind that you'll find something there for sure. Some of these great nuggets and resources, I'm sure. But I'm going to just wrap it up with really thinking about that gift that we've been given, and how we can give that back out to the world, because we have this wisdom and this age that we've been blessed to reach. So everybody listening, think about that. I'm just planting that seed and inviting you to contemplate that a little bit. But I want to thank you, Sara, so much. Please check out Sara online. Watch for our second episode. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Evolving Women.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Teresa. Thank you.